Hi, I'm Jake, and this is the Wednesday edition of Autoweek TV. Coming up, the McLaren Formula One team will give us a preview of the new track for this weekend's Indian Grand Prix. But first, here's what's going on in the car world. It's official. The U.S. is going from 0 Formula One races this year to 2 F1 visits in 2013. Plans for a race in the New York City area called the Grand Prix of America at Port Imperial were confirmed Tuesday afternoon. The location is set for the streets around the Port Imperial Ferry Terminal in New Jersey, just across the Hudson River from Manhattan. Organizers expect the 3-day event will attract about 100,000 fans per day. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie pledged to F1 executives that placing a race in New Jersey on a 10-year contract would be one of the best decisions you ever made. Chris Christie said he also is interested in bringing NASCAR to the track. Consumer Reports magazine has released results from its annual auto survey, and the news wasn't so good for Ford and GM. They dropped in the rankings of customer satisfaction. Participants ranked Ford's new Explorer, Fiesta, and Focus models at less than average for reliability. For GM, the Buick LaCrosse, all-wheel drive Enclave, and the Cadillac SRX all received below average ratings as well. On the other hand, some domestic brands saw improvement in 2011, namely Jeep, Lincoln, and Chrysler, which ranked 13th, 14th, and 15th among 28 major nameplates. Japanese brands still won out overall, landing the top 9 spots for customer satisfaction, and European vehicles finished just below the U.S. domestic brands, mostly scoring average or better. All right, the SEMA show gets rolling in Las Vegas next week, and Chrysler and Lexus have given us a preview of their plans. Chrysler will bring more than 30 customized cars to the Nevada desert. Among the highlights are the Dodge Challenger SRT8 ACR, which is inspired by the Viper ACR race car. For truck fans, there's a high-performance Ram 392 Quicksilver. Lexus will use SEMA to showcase several cars that have been given the F-Sport treatment. At the head of that pack is the redesigned GS 350 F-Sport. Lexus also worked with tuning shop 5-Axis to make over several cars, including the CT 200H hybrid. Find more details and plenty of photos at Autoweek.com. Now, since we're talking about Formula One, the race series breaks in the new Buddha circuit in New Delhi, India this weekend. The simulation team at McLaren prepped its drivers, and us, with a virtual lap of the new track. Let's go for a ride.
Welcome to round 17 of the 2011 Formula One World Championship. I'm Matt Daly. I work in the simulator team at McLaren, and this will be the first time India's ever hosted an F1 race. The circuit is 5.1 kilometers long. It's made up of 16 corners. It's characterised mostly by the long straights and tight corners of Sector 1 and by the fast chicanes and the long turn 10 and 11 of Sectors 2 and 3. Getting a new circuit together in the simulator is one of the biggest challenges and one of the most rewarding aspects of working in the simulator team. New additions to the simulator track models are normally much easier to do when the circuit's ready in plenty of time. We can get a good survey, we can get lots of photos, and that helps us to make sure that things are as accurate as possible for when the test and race drivers come in to do their prep work. But for circuits such as this in India, where the track isn't ready long before the start of the race, we have to go more off our sort of knowledge and experience, and especially that of our track modelers, in terms of putting the curb detailing and curb heights in. Things like track bumpiness are complete unknown and may play a big part in setup work on Friday at the track. This is our best guess at what we've got, and I'll be watching as much as anybody else on the Friday to see what changes that we might have to include back here in the factory for all the debrief work. We'll join on board now for a lap of the circuit. As we come down the main straight, big grandstand on the left-hand side and the new pit buildings on the right. It's the braking zone for turn 1. This is a second gear corner, 110 kilometers an hour. Turn 3 will be very interesting for the drivers, with a very blind apex hairpin coming onto a very long back straight. In the simulator we can do things like put bollards on the corner to help the drivers with sight lines and things, but at the track we don't know what they're going to do in this respect. The long back straight is 1.2 kilometers long, and it's the likely position for the DRS activation zone. Coming into turn 4, it's a second gear 90 kilometers per hour corner that opens out with a beautiful downhill view of most of the circuit. It's now all about setting yourself up for the fast flowing sections of turn 5, 6, 7, entering at about 190 kph, getting down to about 145 kph, before again a fast right and left hander going through the apexes at around 200 kilometers an hour. Turn 10 and 11 is a 230-degree right-hand corner. The car will be laterally loaded for something like 8 to 9 seconds, and it's likely to be the big front left tyre killer. Turn 13 and 14 is another fast chicane, entering at about 200 kilometers an hour. and a blind apex turn 15 sets you up for the end of the lap, coming down to turn 16, which is a second gear corner, probably something like 90 kph, which delivers you back onto the start-finish straight. This has been a lap of the Bud International Circuit. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we're sure India will deliver a great race.
That track should make for a close race. And that's our lap around the auto road for today. Keep up with all the news at Autoweek.com. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, enjoy the drive.
Thanks for watching today's edition of Autoweek TV. Be sure to catch all the latest car enthusiast news on Autoweek.com, in Autoweek magazine, and in Autoweek's iPad edition.